Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome my fellow June bugs, and thank you so much again for joining me in this video. Today I have an exciting video because it's a little bit different for me. It's not typically something I do on my channel, and that is a finance video. This video is actually in collaboration with Shopback, and I do have to thank them because they have challenged me to do a video talking about like savings, finances, and basically a video on how I afford luxury. If this is the type of video that you are into or you enjoy, do give it a thumbs up. And if you are new here on my channel, welcome. My name is June. If you enjoy this video, I would love it for you to join my YouTube family and hit the subscribe button down below. So I was thinking about this video and I just thought, I just don't know what to say. Like, to me, I just felt a bit uncomfortable doing this video because I am not the best at finances. I don't think it's really my forte, and the whole premise of my channel is spending money on luxury items, clothes, fashion, accessories. I don't want to jump on here, you know, giving you all this advice, acting like an expert and telling you what to do with your money. But I thought about it and I realized, you know what, I do have a few tips and tricks that you guys might actually find helpful or useful that I implement in my daily life to allow luxury to be more affordable to me. And you know, this might be really helpful for anyone who is just getting into luxury and, you know, just want a bit more help and guidance to sort of how to make that more affordable to them also. So my first tip is actually making your money go further. And what I mean by that is learning how to actually get a bit of a discount when you are shopping online. And Shopback ties into this perfectly. If you've never heard of Shopback before, they are a cashback website. They are Asia Pacific's, I think, leading cashback website. And you know, if you've never used a cashback website before, it's just as simple as it sounds. If you purchase an item through Shopback's website or through their app, you will actually get a portion of that sale back into your account. So you're literally getting paid to shop, and it is no scam. I've used this for like well over a year and I have saved quite a bit of money on it, and it's just become part of my routine anytime that I purchase anything online. And they have like more than 600 retailers that they've partnered up with, and the cashback often have sales also, much like stores, and that's where you get like an upsize in the cashback. You can get up to 5% cashback, 10%, 15%, sometimes they'll have triple cashback. It really depends on like the website that you are purchasing from. And not only that, but you can get cashback on luxury, fashion, beauty, even like hotel websites, flights, accommodation. Honestly, if you're buying anything online, I would make sure to check out Shopback and just see if you can get cashback on anything that you've purchased. So that's my first tip, and I really do stand by Shopback's website. And then a few other tips is actually, you know, buying pre-loved and buying things on sale. Just because you're buying something on sale and you're buying something pre-loved, it doesn't take away the fact that it's still a luxury piece. You will find in my videos there are certain things that I will purchase full price, and there are certain things that I will only buy pre-loved. So my whole Chanel collection is pre-loved, and that's just because I don't believe that the money is worth it at the moment to buy it brand new, especially when a lot of the times the vintage conditions are so much better made and better quality. Do a bit more research and just see what would work for you. For some people it's just not their cup of tea, and that's fine, but you might even choose to buy things on sale. There are certain designer brands that do go on sale, and it's just about knowing when things are on sale and being aware of them. I won't talk too much about, you know, making your money go further because I did a whole video on it. So I do encourage you to check that video out down below, because it's basically some of my best tips that I have on how to make your money go further when you're shopping. So that's like tip number one essentially. The second tip that I have, this one is like honestly super duper straightforward, but sometimes, you know, people just need to be told. You know, you might already know it, but the more you tell them, the more they realize, yep, they actually need to do it, and that is budget. It's a dirty word. I hate it too. Like, trust me, I'm the worst at budgeting, but you do need to create a budget. Like, you need to know what is your income that's coming in and what is your expenditure, which is the money coming out. You need to know this. Like, you need to know what you can afford. There's no other way to go around this. You just need to do it. And by doing this, you can also have a look at your expenses, you know. Like, for a whole year I didn't realize I was paying for a gym membership when I was in Cairns, and I had already moved to another state. So that was like thousands of dollars that I wasted because I didn't like look at my expenses or like do a budget at the time. You know, you might not realize how much you're spending on, you know, little things that actually add up. So for me, I don't have a mortgage, I don't have kids, so that already affords me a lot of freedom in my expenses to spend on other things. And also, you know, there are just some things that I don't spend a lot of money on. So I don't really go out for brunches or lunches. I just don't eat out very much. I don't get my hair done. I don't get my nails done. I don't get massages, facials. I just don't. I don't do any of that stuff. I don't travel. I really do want to do a bit more travel this year, but I've just been, you know, studying. So I've not traveled like overseas or have gone on any big getaway. So that's something that I also don't spend money on. And then the last thing I don't spend money on is I do not go out. So I don't have much of a social life because my handbags are my life. But, you know, obviously some people will prefer to spend more money on social activities than myself, but not going out like every week does save me a lot of money because drinks are expensive. And you know, when I have a good time, I like to have a good time, and I will spend a lot of money on drinks. So those are just some of the ways that I actually have cut back. Those are some of the expenditures that I don't spend on. So just have a think about your own situation. What do you really enjoy? Like, I will buy a coffee because I love coffee. It's my life. I will not deny myself of a good coffee. But you know, you may not want to deny yourself of like perfectly manicured nails. It's completely up to you, but you do need to create a budget so that you can have a look at your expenses and see what you can actually sacrifice so you can afford luxury items. Okay, my next tip is income. You can cut back on your expenses as much as you want, but to actually have more money, you need to make more money, and that is to increase your income. So I am a doctor, so my income is probably above average, and that's because, you know, I worked hard. I went through medical school and I wanted to have a good paying job. But in saying that, like, my pay rate is actually still pretty low in the like grand context of medical fields. Like, my income is very small compared to like some of like my colleagues who work as an orthopedic surgeons who have like jet plane. Like, there is a very real disparity between incomes between specialties and doctors. So that's something that I'm aware of, but that was a choice that I did make because lifestyle was really, really important for me, and I did not really want to sacrifice, like, you know, my happiness and having that balanced life for money. So it all depends on what you're after, but you know, income is really, really important. And if you're in a job that doesn't afford you enough money, then think about getting another job, or think about trying to get a pay rise in the job that you're in. Think about how you can further yourself. So if you're in a job, see if you can actually get a pay rise. See if you can negotiate with your practice manager, your supervisor, your boss, and just ask. It doesn't hurt to ask. I had to negotiate my own contract, and you know, it can be really, really daunting at times and really awkward, but you do have to just ask, because unless you ask, you will never know, and you might be missing out on like a huge opportunity for yourself. So just sit down with your boss, let them know, look, I'm wondering if there is any room for a pay rise or an increase in responsibilities for a bit more pay, or you know, even ask if you can have a trial period where they can observe you and, you know, see if you're cut out for the job, because you just need to keep further in your career so you can get more money. And if you feel like you can't go further in that particular job, you know, think about investing in yourself and upskilling. So whether it be going back to uni to do a different career or learning new skills so you can get a better job, you have to think about yourself and your own self-worth and realize what you can actually do and your full potential. Don't be afraid to continue to strive harder and earn more, because you owe yourself that at least. So for example, for me, you know, I sat those exams because I wanted to further my career and specialize in general practice. So I could have stayed as just like a normal doctor with no specialty. Not a lot of people do that. A lot of, you know, doctors do want to specialize eventually, but you can if you want to, and you can just locum whenever you want. But I wanted to specialize, and so I paid thousands and thousands of dollars to sit an exam so that I can actually specialize in general practice. And you know, those are the type of investments that I'm talking about. So whether it's studying a bit more, getting a certificate so you can apply for a better and different job, you need to think about those expenses as investments for yourself, because you need to increase your primary source of income. And that's honestly one of the major ways of, you know, being able to afford luxury items. You need to increase your primary income. Now, a second point on income is side hustles. So obviously being a doctor is a primary source of income for me, but I do actually have a few income sources. One of them is making YouTube videos for you guys, and this is the type of thing that you guys need to start thinking about. I'm not telling you that you should go and make YouTube videos, because it's honestly not for everyone, and it is a bit of a journey to get there. But just think of things that you are really good at, that you enjoy doing, that you can try and monetize and make money and profit from. So, you know, for me, YouTube is not really a job, because I love talking to you guys, I love filming, I love talking about handbags, and it's just a bonus for me that I get paid to create these videos. It's definitely like not sustainable in terms of an income by any means. I could easily just stop making YouTube videos and work like a few hours more, and I will make so much more money than like creating these videos every week. Like that is just how it is. But I enjoy this. I enjoy this time that we have. I enjoy this routine of filming for you guys and uploading. So it's not really work, it's just a hobby, and it's just so convenient that I can financially profit from this hobby of mine. And that's what I want you guys to start thinking about. If you have a particular skill that you're really proud about, like photography or web design or makeup, like think of the things you're good at, that you enjoy, that you can try and monetize. And nowadays it's super duper easy to do that. You know, you can just create a Facebook page, you can create an Instagram, put your details, and just, you know, word of mouth. Just be savvy, be a boss, and just try to market yourself. Think of your side hustle, because it's always good to have one. And you know, the more sources of income that you have, the better, honestly. Another source of income for me, it's not really income, but it's just how I afford luxury, and that's selling bags or items I no longer use. So the beauty of buying like luxury items is that I do feel like they resell well, because the luxury brands increase their prices all the time. You do find that you can probably resell your items for the same amount that you bought them for, but you do have to be careful with this one and pick the right items that can resell well. But you know, in saying that, it's still worthwhile selling off some of the items that you're no longer using, because that is money just sitting there. If you want more money, these are just some of the things that you can do. Now, the third point I have on, you know, increasing your income is actually something called passive income. If you've never heard of it before, it's basically, you know, making money while you sleep. I'm going to be a bit short with this point, because it's probably not as relevant to, you know, short-term goals like buying luxury items, but it's certainly really useful for anyone who is saving long-term. The most popular and obviously the most common passive income stream is through investments. So through stocks, through bonds, through ETFs. If you haven't started investing yet, I would encourage you to have a look at that. Sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to get your head around it, but there are so many awesome books and videos that sort of teaches you about investing and, you know, this type of stocks that you need to be looking at. I prefer ETFs just because I don't keep up with like all of the individual company stocks. I do have a few like company stocks that are doing okay. If you don't know what ETFs are, they're basically exchange traded funds. They are like a mixed bag of stocks that follow a particular trend. So you can get like the ASX 200, which just follows the top 200 companies in Australia. As I said, I'm not an expert on these sort of things, and you might find that you want a more aggressive style to investing. It's completely up to you. But you will find that this is more of a long-term strategy. It's definitely not short-term unless you're day trading, which is a job on its own. I would not call day trading passive investing, passive income, because how you actually build on this is through dividends and reinvestments. So you need to actually keep it there for long term so that compound interest can actually do its magic. And then my last and final tip, I know this is becoming a really long video, is actually plan your purchases. I would encourage you to first of all always have a wish list if you can. Think about the purchases that you want to make. Think about the bags that you want to buy. Think about how long you plan to have it for, what you're going to be wearing it with, is it functional for your lifestyle, and how would you feel if you couldn't sell that bag? Would you feel upset? Would you regret it? Would you feel sick in the stomach? Or would you just love that bag and you don't really care? I have a whole video on like buying your first designer handbag if you haven't actually bought your first one yet, and I'll put that video in the info bar below. You know, for me, touching back on pre-loved bags, if I can find something pre-loved and it's in decent condition, I will actually prefer to buy it that way. And honestly, it's just because I feel like it's a smarter buy for me. It's like if you were to buy a brand new car, you will lose a chunk of your money as soon as you drive that car out of the garage. The same thing honestly applies to like handbags. I had a subby actually contact me saying, you know, she bought a brand new Chanel bag because everyone was saying that Chanel is a really, really good investment, and then when she had it, she found that it actually didn't work out for her lifestyle. She had it for maybe a few weeks, and she decided to sell it, and she couldn't sell it for even close to what she got it for, and she was really upset by that. Now, this is a really important point that I do want to make for you guys. Luxury items are not investments, okay? They are not investments. Do not get mixed up. When I buy luxury items, I don't buy them thinking that I can flip it for more. It's beneficial if I can. It's great if I can and if I do, but I just want to be able to actually retain some of that money back rather than, you know, making money off it so that I don't lose money. So the aim of the game is not to lose money. So that's what I think about when I make luxury purchases. And, you know, that's where pre-loved pieces are actually more beneficial. I can guarantee you, if you bought something pre-loved like a Chanel bag, you can probably sell it for the same price that you bought it for. Because if you bought a brand new bag and you want to sell it for the same amount that you bought it for, what is stopping someone from just going to the store and buying it? Like, there has to be enough of a discount for someone to want to buy that item from you. So those are the type of things that you need to think about if you are looking to buy a bag and you don't want to lose money and you want to be able to resell it. But anyways, those are just a few of my tips. I know this is a really long rambly video, but I actually enjoyed making this video for you guys. Let me know if you did too. Let me know if you found it useful and you learned a thing or two. This is a little bit different for me, and I hope I sort of got my points across without sounding like a bit of a tool, because I actually don't know a lot about finance and I still have a long way to go when learning how to manage my money. So I don't pretend to be an expert, but I think that there are some useful points in this video that I hope you guys have taken on board and think about. And if there are any tips that you have, I would love to hear from you. Please comment in the comment section below, letting us know what are your favorite tips on how you make luxury affordable for you. So that is it, you guys. That is my video. Thank you again to Shopback for sponsoring this video and collaborating with me. I would urge you guys to check out their website. If you guys use my link as a bonus, they will give you guys $10 to your account, so I would encourage you to go and check it out in the info bar below. I've talked for like almost an hour now, so I don't actually know how I'm going to cut this video down, but I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, hope you guys are having a wonderful week or weekend, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.